Jai Gurudev. Georgie, before we begin, since we have touched upon the Aghora mantra, we've had that as the Mangalacharna for this conversation as well. Could you just briefly explain a little bit about it and what Swamiji mentioned about the Aghora mantra?
This is the Aghora mantra, and it's different. Those of you that are familiar with the Agni Purana and many of the ancient texts, this is different to the standard Aghora mantra that is usually recited, throughout South India. This is very much a Kashmiri version, where Goratare is changed to Goratari because this applies to the three Devis, the three supreme Devis of the Trika of Kashmir Shaivism. And this mantra, the custodian of this mantra is Aghoranath, or more commonly known as Swachhandanatha. Okay, this is the picture of Swachhandanatha which Swamiji has in his own Amriteshwara Mandir in Kashmir at his ashram. It's a painting. It's a depiction taken from what's called the Swachhanda Tantra. So this picture is Lord Shiva in his first manifestation in an iconic form, according to Kashmir Shaivism. Other than that, in 90% of the temples in Kashmir, you will find Lord Shiva and Shakti, who are inseparable, expressed as a Shivalingam and the Yoni. 90% of the temples in Kashmir, the ancient temples, were always just addressing Shivalingam and the Yoni, which is the Vakta or Vaktra, expression of Shiva. But Swachandanatha was the first manifestation in iconic form. Swachandanatha, also known as Aghoranatha, the Lord of the Aghora Shaktis, which is what the mantra embodies. And Swamiji had a direct experience, direct darshan of Swachandanatha in 1989. And it was quite unique because, according to Kashmir Shaiva philosophy, Swachandanatha only appears because of his refined, Suksma Sharira, we could say, his refined body. He only normally appears in Satyuga. In Kali Yuga, it's more common for yogis and saints to have darshan of Lord Shiva in the form of Srikantanatha, which everybody would be familiar with. Srikantanatha with just 2 arms or 4 arms with a rudraksha, a trident, sitting in lotus position. There are many verses about that. So this was very unusual, and after that experience, Swamiji went into a completely different bhav. And he didn't go into specific details, but he said that Aghoranatha had told him, Swachandanatha had told him that a time will come when this bhuvana that we live on, this Prithvi bhuvana, Brahmanda as it's called in Shaiva philosophy, there will be some turbulence. It will be a transition. And he said during that time, he said, my Aghora mantra and the recitation of what's called the Bahurapa Garbha Stotra will be essential, just not only for individual peace of mind during turbulent times, but also to purify the atmosphere surrounding whoever resides there. And this was so important. For 1 month, Swamiji was in a completely different bhava. He'd hardly communicated to anybody because this experience of Swachandanatha seemed to be so overwhelming. It pushed Swamiji deeply into his own, nature. And about a month later, the first communication that he did, like coming out of his room or anything, was to write a letter to his dear disciples in the US, John and Denise Hughes, who were paramount in recording, over 20 years, recording all of Swamiji's lectures. And I want to share this letter. This is a handwritten letter by Swamiji concerning the Aghora mantra. And he used to call John, Chandrasekhara. He said, I was in receipt of your loving letter. And again, this letter was written, I need to just move my thing here. This letter was written on 13th of June, 1989, approximately 1 month after this experience. He said, I was in receipt of your loving and devoted letter on the 3rd of April. I had noted its contents therein, but many ups and downs took place. I was 100% unable to write as I was almost dead. Now, there's a story behind that because astrologers had predicted that this was around the time of Swamiji's birthday, that he would actually leave his body at that time. Two very foremost astrologers in Kashmir. But they also predicted that the planetary situation that was very unique, and they didn't actually pinpoint whether this is a physical death or some other kind. So Swamiji said, no, I didn't die. He said, now I feel slightly better to write to you word by word the meaning of the Aghora mantra. And he wrote out the mantra just as I recited. And then he said, before writing its meaning, I have to note down to you that this mantra is connected with the three great energies, Aghora Shakti, Gora Shakti, and Goratari Shakti, which are named respectively Para, Para, and Apara Shaktis. That's supreme, medium, and inferior Shaktis. Then he went on to say that this mantra is owned by Aghoranatha, Swachandanatha. And at the same time, you should note that these energies are ananta, numberless. He says there, Aghora Shakti, Aghora energies. He says, when darkness or ignorance is altogether vanished, they are named Aghora Shaktis. He said, the functioning of these three energies, when the Aghora energies penetrate any individual, no matter if that individual is a yogi or an ordinary worldly person, at that very moment, or even the slightest touch of Aghora energies, that person is born anew, a new being, there and then, and he becomes one with God consciousness, and is no less than Swachandanatha. This is called Tivra Shaktipata, supreme most grace. And Swamiji ended this, he said, you should publish it and spread this message all over the world. So I'll stop my screen sharing there. So this became the theme of Swamiji's, last 2 years of life. And I remember this in 1990, for the years following, every evening on the veranda at Swamiji's ashram, which is really his house. Kashmiri saints didn't have ashrams. They had a place where they lived and people visited, like a Martika type of style. We would recite the Bahura Stotra every night. And most of us didn't really know the significance of it until many years later after Swamiji left this world. But then devotees would come forward and say, oh, yes, I had some problems in my house once. I thought my house was possessed by a ghost. And Swamiji would say, Aghora mantra, recite it. And within 2 or 3 days, that was all clear. So we did it. We did on the Lakshmanju Academy, which John and Denise established through Swamiji's wish that in America, you should have this. In India, they have Ishra Ashram Trust. But on the website very recently, we did a whole series on this Aghora mantra and the Bahura Stotra. Now there are over 500-600 people around the world reciting the Aghora mantra and reciting the Bahura Stotra or listening every day. And Swamiji said, you can do anything in this world. You can try through politics and you can do this. And he said, but the real custodian of the karma of this whole planet is Swachandanatha. It's written in the stotra. He's in charge of karma, and therefore, if you appease him, if you avana, if you invite him into your heart and into your home, that's the best way to create peace, individually and environmentally. So that was the importance of this mantra, and we've been very vigilant now in spreading this around the world. And I'm in Nepal at the moment, and a year ago I was here, and one person came. And now he has pundits here in Nepal reciting the Bhagavad Stotra every day.
Incredible, incredible. So this is something that anybody can take, and because it's empowered by Swamiji and because it's part of the Shastra itself, it can be chanted by anybody, right?
Yes, yes.
Every day.
You know, all of these shastras, all of the traditions are at the end they will have these restrictions, these niyamas that okay, this shouldn't be given to people that are not initiated. This shouldn't be given to people that are unsavory. It shouldn't be given to people outside of your sampradaya. But Swamiji said is very interesting because Swachandanatha is the lord of the Aghora Shaktis, the three energies which rule the whole universe. He said, so Kashmir Shaivism has always held the firm belief that these teachings of Lord Shiva in that supreme form are available independent of caste, creed, color, and gender. And then the question came to Swamiji, but he said, what about if undesirable people get this and start to recite? He said, Lord Shiva is he knows exactly what's going on in the heart and mind of every person. The undesirable people won't be able to recite it. They'll get in through the first lines and they'll stop. They'll think, oh, I have something to do. I can't waste my time with this. And they will go. A very innocent person who knows nothing will hear it without understanding any Sanskrit or anything like that, and they'll be mesmerized at what a deep effect that it's having on them. He said, because this was given to me by Swachhanda Bhairava. He said, you have no idea how blessed I was to have his darshan in Kali Yuga, and how much compassion he had for this world, that a time would come, which is due to the collective karma of this whole planet. And let's face it, everybody knows all over this small bhuvana, this tiny planet, which is a speck of sand in the 118 worlds of this universe. But at the moment, there's tamasha, there's turbulence. So it was a gift from Swachandanatha to Swamiji, and through Swamiji, a gift to everybody.